Okay, then, our next story is here. You know, for the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, the one we know as NAFDAC, the ban on the production, distribution, and sale of alcoholic beverages in sachet must be won. The 5-year moratorium, well, if you remember, to distillers ended on February 1st, 2024, with the deadline for compliance set for December 2025. That's about 2 months ago.
Yes.
So the agency is justifying the ban on alcohol in sachet and PET glass bottles below 200 ml, effective January 2026. The idea is to protect minors and adolescents and the public from access to high concentration alcohol. Elsewhere, the Senate urged the federal and state governments to ensure the adequate stocking, availability, and accessibility of life-saving antidotes, including state snake antivenoms. This is in reaction to snake bite victim Ifunanya Wangene. Crazy times that try men's souls.
Yeah, we start with the NAFDAC story a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think that the people who are manufacturing these alcohol in sachets, they are making a lot of money from it.
Okay.
And they don't want that profit, you know,
to stop.
To stop. That is the major reason. And
why they are kicking?
Why, you know, and they are going around, you know, they are talking about 5 million jobs. It's not true. You know, there's no statistics that backs up that claim. That if you stop this, then you have 5 million people will lose their jobs. Even people who sell these sachets, they are not solely dependent on selling of sachets alone.
For living.
For living. When you go around, you see people sell bread, they sell all sorts of things, and then this one is just footnotes. So I think what is motivating these businessmen is profit. They are not concerned about humanity. They are not concerned about death. They are not concerned about accidents on our roads. They are not concerned about cancer. They are not concerned about, you know, premature deaths, which is one of the afflictions that, you know, Nigerians face today. And we should ask them, I mean, when you go to Europe and all that, is there any country that will allow this kind of thing that they are selling? Not even in South Africa.
Okay.
Not even in South Africa. And they were given enough time
5 minutes
for you to be able
moratorium.
to be creative, look for alternative ways.
Think how
best you can deal with this problem. So the Nigerian government, you see, there are people that always want to exist out of law, outside the framework of law. It is left for the government to be able to assert its moral authority. So I think that conscientious Nigerians, people of conscience, people of goodwill, they are behind NAFDAC. And NAFDAC should not stop in its determination to assert itself according to the legal provisions of this country. If these sachets are stopped, a lot of human lives will be saved. In fact, it's good, you know, if you see, when you talk about courtesan, violence on our streets, you know, even terrorism, they are all linked up with these, you know, instigators of, you know, things that instigate you to violence and all that. And these sachet things are part of them. They are accessible, they are very cheap. Go to secondary school, some of them, when you are going to school, they buy it and they drink. And if you continue to allow this, it will become a national culture that will destroy the moral fabric of Nigeria.
Away from that, Wale, is the fact that ethanol, which is laced with these drinks, is not good for the human
liver,
body.
for the kidney.
Yes.
So, I mean,
this is the message we seem to be losing here, you know. And so NAFDAC is doing its job based on what this Senate broached, you know, and said, no, think about alternative this thing. And the thing lapsed in 2024.
And
there was a grace period.
You know?
Now so, NAFDAC is kicking and they
there is
don't
no
like
excuse. In fact, they should go out and ensure that they raid shops of where these things are being sold in order to be able to save our children, save our men, save our women, you know, from premature death.
All right. I know that our man BKO must be scandalized by this development. We'll turn things over to you again, BKO.
You see, for the past 5 years, an MOU had been signed between NAFDAC, FCCPC, and others to gradually phase out sachet and small bottle alcoholic drinks, and to support NAFDAC. The Senate told it not to extend the deadline for compliance beyond December 31st, the December 31st deadline. But manufacturers have continued to say, no, this would cause job losses, to bring economic strain on people and all that. So, the federal government had granted moratorium to these producers to enable them exhaust the existing stock, to completely exhaust the existing stock so that they can switch to alternative packaging model that will be compliant with the NAFDAC rule. No one is saying that these companies must shut down. What they are saying is that the way alcohol is packaged in these small sachets enables children to easily conceal it. Many parents do not even know that their children have begun to consume alcohol in small
sachet
packages,
yeah,
the way they are being consumed. So NAFDAC is driven by a desire to address the rate at which young people are taken to alcohol, thereby endangering their own lives, endangering their internal organs like their livers and the rest, especially because a lot of this alcohol have heavy ethanol content.
Yeah.
But those who are bent on making money from an unfortunate situation continue to say, oh, this thing will lead to job losses and all that. But they are not saying don't produce alcohol. They are only saying don't produce it in these small packages.
That's it.
These
That's
small sachets that enable people to be able to conceal it easily while driving. They are not supposed to drink while driving, but because it's so small, it's easy for them to quickly consume it. And you see children going to school, they bought it already. Now, it's so bad that a survey conducted showed that many students do not even feel like going to write their exam until they consumed some sachets of these alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
And that is why the INEC is saying, NAFDAC is saying, no, anything below 200 ml, we will prohibit its sale. They are not saying don't produce alcohol, but you must not pack it in anything below 200 ml, because already we are facing underage drinking, we are facing addiction, we are facing domestic violence, we are facing school dropout as a result of the excessive consumption of alcohol by young people. So I think that INEC needs to be supported. INEC needs to be empowered.
No, you mean
the
NAFDAC?
moratorium is long enough.
NAFDAC. Not
I
INEC.
believe that it's time for INEC to be backed on this so that this whole thing can come to an end.
BKO, sorry. You mean NAFDAC, not INEC.
Yes, I corrected myself.
Okay.
Corrected myself.
All right. So, for Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, it's a tall order, but what has to be done has to be done.
Yeah, it tells you that when you are occupying a very sensitive position like that,
Oh, yeah.
you know, you are actually taking a very big risk. Because there are big men in Nigeria that what they feed on the mystery of the multitude. That is why they make their money. And they are ready to do anything to make sure that, you know, they sustain this racket, you know, this harmful racket.
Yeah.
So the fact of the matter is that, you know, these sachets, you know, they contain high concentration of alcohol. Then the package is not hygienic. Then the problem also is the disposal of those items.
That's it.
You know, on its own constitute environmental hazards.
That's it.
It takes so many months and years for those things to decay. So it's also not good for even the future of agriculture in Nigeria. And then the NAFDAC thing does not, I mean, those sachets, they do not meet international standard. You can't go to any country and say, okay, go to China and say you want to do this kind of, no country will allow you to do this kind. It's only in Nigeria. And I think why they kept on, you know, for almost 5 years doing nothing is that they felt, oh, the law in Nigeria is an axe. They know nothing will happen to them. So we need to prove to these people that no matter how big you are not above the law. So Nigerians and state governments, ministries of health, should not leave this thing for NAFDAC alone.
And we had always said one underpinning requirement for a healthy democracy is respect for
the rule of law. So
Nothing
all
else.
5 years, and that's why I'm not happy with a section of the Nigerian of labor. The Nigerian Labour Congress should show concern about what is going on. That look, this thing is for public safety. It's for the safety of yourself and myself.
Yeah.
So I think that we should not leave this battle for NAFDAC alone. State governments, you know, should back up because NAFDAC hasn't got the numerical strength in terms of the workforce to go out, you know, to carry out some of it. So the Ministry of Health in each state should back up the actions of NAFDAC and ensure that these things are. Go to each, you know, major motor parks. You see that, you know, somebody wants to drive from here to Maiduguri or from here to Ibadan or from here to Uyo. The first thing it does is to take about 3-4, and then it goes
more.
You know, or more.
Yeah.
And then he even has some in his pockets. On the way, he buys from other people and then drinks. So these things are not good for, you know, for public health, not good for hygiene, not good for, you know, humanity. You know,
minors.
for minors.
Minors
you know?
becoming involved in this thing is.
So I think we can't say because people are making money from a particular venture, and that venture is harmful, destroying human life, then you must allow it. Then that means you can stretch the argument to say that people selling cocaine should be allowed to be, you know. So we need to be very careful.
All right. The second leg of the story, and this takes us back to Abuja, where our man is waiting. Biko, we call on you again. The second leg of the story has to do with